Terrorism, a national security expert at the Heritage Foundation. He's with us bright and early this morning from Washington, D.C., watching these developments overnight with us, Robin. And your first response here as authorities dig into who this suspected bomber is.
Well, it appears as this appears to be a suicide attack, I think you have to say it looks increasingly clear that this is Islamist in nature. Then you start looking at whether is this ISIS directed, has it managed to smuggle one of its fighters into the UK, has it possibly been able to recruit a homegrown radical, has it provided any kind of instruction, or has any foreign terrorist group provided any instruction in constructing the device? How was this? How did the authorities miss this? Was this person possibly on the radar, and it was just the case that there's so many terror suspects in the UK that it's not possible to track everyone? Has the person who carried out the attack got any kind of connections? Has he been on WhatsApp? Has he been on Telegram? Is there an electronic signature there that the authorities can begin to trace? I think these are the kind of things that they're going to be poring over in the hours and days to come.
Now, of course, what makes this stand out is the targeting of teenage and adolescent girls. Does that tell you anything about a potential group that might take responsible for this latest terror attack?
Well, it tells you it's one that has absolutely no regard for decency or human life. That could be ISIS. I think ISIS would be the #1 suspected group. Could be Al-Qaeda. But you're almost at a loss for words to know who could target this specific audience there in that venue.
And we don't want to speculate, of course, in these early hours. Robin, as you know, developments change quickly. There are sometimes leads and angles that are followed and pursued that turn out not to be correct. So we're just going to try to stick with exactly what we know here. We know there are 22 dead. We know that children are among them. And we know that this venue is a little bit different. Westminster, a couple of months ago, that was clearly meant for maximum international tourism impact. The seat of government, a tour, the heart of London, the tube system in 2007, transportation hub. This is very clearly those soft targets that all of you counterterrorism folks are so concerned about. All of these people in one place with only a few exits. Right there, those are the real difficulty in protecting.
Yeah, absolutely, and music venues themselves are something that terrorist groups in the past have liked to target. You may remember there was a suicide bombing at a music festival in Germany last summer. The Bataclan in Paris, November 2015, very specifically targeted by ISIS. There was a plot back in 2004 to attack the Ministry of Sound nightclub, also in London. And so, because of the conditions that you correctly laid out, it makes it an appealing target for terrorists, because you've got a high concentration of people, very hard to protect from a kind of attack of people leaving exits and leaving altogether at one time. Very easy to cause panic. And I think that's what you've seen take place in Manchester last night.
Robin, Gary Walker, who attended the concert with his family, told Sky News after his wife was hurt that he looked on the ground and saw, quote, metal nuts all over the floor. What does that tell you?
Well, again, it suggests it's potentially some kind of nail bomb, that's the kind of bomb that's used for maximum impact, cause maximum damage, maximum casualties. Again, it just shows us that whoever is behind this attack truly had no regard for human life. They were looking to carry out the most amount of, commit the most amount of, kill the most amount of people possible, the highest amount of casualties possible. And I think it's just a stark reminder of the kind of hateful ideologies that exist, that people would be in that venue, in amongst those people, see the young people they were with, see the teenagers, see the parents, and think that they were a target that deserved to be killed. I mean, it boggles the mind, really, that anyone could carry out this kind of attack, but unfortunately we see it again and again.
How much support, Robin, is needed for a lone wolf, say, to walk, to get the bomb-making materials necessary and pull off something like this? Or is this something that needs a network, that needs coordination, from what you can see here?
I would tend towards to think it would be the latter. I think it more likely there'd be a network. You do get lone wolf-style terrorists who can have some kind of instruction electronically from abroad. You may get an ISIS commander in Raqqa encouraging somebody to carry out a knife attack or an attack with a car, something that's quite simple to pull off. But something like this, where you've constructed an IED, that requires a level of expertise that I think would push us towards the fact that there may be a broader network operating out there. Maybe the person that carried out the attack had some kind of training abroad. I think these are the kind of things that we're going to be, the police and authorities in the UK are going to be trying to find out.
Robin, UK Prime Minister Theresa May will hold what's called a COBRA meeting with her cabinet today. 9 o'clock local time, that's 4 a.m. Eastern time here in New York. Want to ask you, though, about the security in the UK, in England, in Manchester. They were at a severe terror level warning, meaning an attack is highly likely. How secure is the London-Manchester UK area?
Well, the UK has been, the severe threat level has been there for many years. I mean, the UK has been under threat very consistently now for over a decade. You referred earlier to the July 2005 bombings on the London Transport Network. There's been dozens of thwarted plots, and obviously you had the attacks in Westminster earlier this year, and the attack in Manchester actually also came 4 years to the day since Lee Rigby, a British soldier, was stabbed to death by two radicalised British Nigerians. So there is very clearly a threat in the UK. I think the UK has devoted an awful lot of money to counter-terrorism. It has world-class intelligence services, but it's a numbers game. And the fact of the matter is there is thousands of terror suspects in the UK. The UK doesn't have the ability to track all of them. And so they're constantly making an assessment, who is the crocodile nearest the boat. Sometimes they're going to get it wrong, and it appears as if yesterday it was one of those people that slipped through the net.
Robin Simcox, thank you so much for monitoring all of this with us and giving us your expert